Good afternoon, and thank you for stepping into the File Playland. As always, I'm your File Player. Wanted to discuss some news on the status of Steve Cohen's potential purchase of the New York Mets. Um, Today, October 30th, I believe at 1 p.m., the official vote should be taking place among the owners group, like all the owners of the MLB. I think that's going to be done via a video call. They say that the first tier of voting is going to be done with a consortium of a group of like 8 owners, I believe. Once they get the approval from those 8 owners, or the majority of those 8 owners, then they move on and they bring the voting to all the owners. So, from what I read before, I thought that the initial 8 owner vote was a done deal, but like it had already been voted upon, but apparently it wasn't. And that's going to be happening today. But I guess what I may have read before was that those 8 owners that were going to be doing the initial stage of that voting, for all intensive purposes, agreed or gave a yay on their vote to bring that voting to the next tier of 29 votes. Yeah, 29 votes. When you take away the Wilpon vote, which is for, just count that as a yes. But after that takes place, I mean, like, and another thing too, out of those 8 owners, or the initial 8 owners that are going to be bringing that, making that first vote, Reisendorf is one of those owners that was still opposed to Steve Cohen becoming an owner, because I guess he's chummy with the A-Rod or J-Lo, one of the two, and wanted him to become an owner rather than Steve Cohen. But supposedly he had voted against Steve Cohen buying the Dodgers as well. So, doesn't matter. But we still have the hurdle of Bill de Blasio as the mayor of New York not getting approved until de Blasio gives his blessing for all intents and purposes. They're saying that currently, and I reported on this yesterday briefly, but maybe I didn't word it in this fashion, but they're saying that de Blasio, and this is according to the New York Post, de Blasio is looking for loopholes, like legal loopholes, and he has his legal team searching far and wide, looking for a way in which Steve Cohen could be canned as the owner of the New York Mets. Like, he's trying to find a way to block Steve Cohen from becoming the owner of the New York Mets, which is going to be hard. The I think the wording of in the lease, according to the New York Post, the language in the Citi Field lease within the city precluded a person from who has been convicted in a criminal proceeding for a felony or any crime involving moral turpitude, or is an organized crime figure, from leasing the ballpark. Some of you may or may not know Steve Cohen was pled guilty to insider trading, but it was more of a slap on the wrist thing. I think he wasn't allowed to trade outside of his money for 2 years, which is nothing. And his firm, Point72, also had a gender discrimination lawsuit, which was settled out of court. I'm not sure. I don't know exactly when that gender discrimination lawsuit was held against him, but that's not like, a big deal, or that's not like a criminal enterprise that he's running. He's still allowed to trade, and it's just more saber rattling from Bill de Blasio or just being a dick, frankly, like from Bill de Blasio. I mean, I think a lot of people who, whether you're liberal or conservative like I am, um, in New York City, look at de Blasio as being a dick. Took the fact that he was running for the presidency of this country as more of a joke. But I can't take much more of this, especially from him. Like, had it been like another mayor, like, and they're really doing their due diligence, I mean, I think I'd be able to ingest that a little bit easier. But like coming from de Blasio, I mean, he's just a moron. But I hope that people make some sort of campaign, like to do peaceful protests outside of the de Blasio residence. I mean, from what I've heard is that he stays a lot at his Park Slope residence, um, or just as much there as in City Hall. They say he lives in the Park Slope residence even more than the City Hall residence. But maybe some peaceful demonstrations happen there, which I mean is a tangible option, because when the Mets were trying to get Manny Ramirez, Met fans had the Million Manny March outside of the SNY studios. I wasn't able to go to the first of those demonstrations, but I did go to the second of those demonstrations, and I have pictures. And my son was maybe 4 at the time, and it was freezing cold. Like it was like probably like near zero in temperature. And I remember he had I bought him a Carlos Beltran jersey, which was oversized at that time. Mind you, my son's 18 now, but he had a Carlos Beltran jersey, which was a little bit too big, but he was able to put on a coat to brave the cold weather and still be. He was still able to fit the Carlos Beltran jersey without a problem, and it looked really cute. I remember, you know, but you know, but in that second demonstration, which I was a part of, um, in spite of the weather, in spite of the fact that it was didn't have as much fanfare as the first incarnation of that demonstration, there was still a good 30 Met fans, like so. And I think this is a bigger deal. I mean, like, sure, I did want Manny at that time on the Mets. I was pissed that they didn't acquire him. There were many times they could have acquired him. One more famously when they could have traded Lastings Millage for him. Some people forget too. We could have gotten Corey Oswalt for Lastings Millage too. But if Mets show that much fortitude to acquire a player, I think they should show even more rancor. Like if somebody, a doofus like Bill de Blasio, is opposing the sale of this team. So, get out there with your pickets. But let me know what you guys think. If trying to make sure I didn't forget anything, but go Mets as always. And thank you for stepping into the Foul Playland. With that, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Be safe this Halloween. Apparently, people are putting pistols inside of apples, so make sure you thoroughly inspect your children's goodies. But with that, I'm out, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Peace.